10 sports rich people follow that you don't. Welcome to my YouTube channel, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello viewers, and welcome to another exciting video. When it comes to sports, the wealthy handle things differently than the rest of us. The wealthy watch sports so they can be more savvy investors and boost their earnings. With that said, let's take a closer look at 10 sports rich people always have on their radar. Number 10, car racing. We know what you're about to say. You love watching Formula One, and so do we. However, for millionaires and billionaires, watching car races is more than just watching, Verstappen drifting, and trying to beat Hamilton. It's more like market research. Formula One is to car racing what the Super Bowl is to football. Not only is the competition entertaining and utterly immersive, but it's also an excellent platform for businesses to exhibit and advertise their brands. The next time you watch a race, take a look at the banners on the circuit, on the cars, and on the suits, and think about that. Number 9, skiing. Those luxurious skiing trips to the Alps aren't a myth. Skiing is appealing to the wealthy for a variety of reasons. It's expensive, involves luxurious locations and resorts, and is generally pretty exclusive. As a result, you'll be rubbing shoulders with like-minded people. In these places, no one will be looking for advice or a handout unless they have something just as valuable to offer you in return. However, wealthy people watch this winter sport for a variety of reasons. For starters, it's all about technique and discipline, which business owners appreciate because it's exactly what you need to be a wealthy entrepreneur. Furthermore, watching these athletes push beyond what was once thought to be impossible inspires them because entrepreneurs are constantly trying to do the same in their own way. Number 8, American football. Let's start with the fact that the NFL is the highest grossing sport in the United States, with total revenue for all NFL teams expected to exceed $15 billion in 2021. If that's not enough, consider the league's biggest annual event, the Super Bowl, which generated nearly $450 million in advertising revenue last year, demonstrating how much the general U.S. public enjoys football. People live and die for their teams. They'll watch at home, spend hundreds of dollars on tickets, and thousands of dollars on merchandise. And as average fans yell in the seats, wealthy investors are seated in their skyboxes, talking commerce and negotiating deals. That's their game of choice. Number 7, fencing. Fencing is a rather fancy sport that was originally designed to train knights to hold and handle weapons. In fencing, opponents hold the sword known as an ibe and use it for both attacking the opponent and defending from their moves. Even though its origins date back to ancient Egypt, fencing only became a popular sport in the late 19th century. And in 1896, fencing for men became part of the Olympic Games. Finally, in 1924, fencing events for women were added to the Olympics. Better late than never. Fencing is now more of a sport that wealthy people are interested in following and playing for pleasure because it has a noble and aristocratic history, which wealthy people always appreciate. And surprisingly, in comparison to other athletes, professional fencers don't make that much, only about $37,000, which is nothing compared to Connor McDavid's $16.4 million. Number 6, ice hockey. Think about it. You're strapping blades on your feet, running around the ice, chasing a puck with a stick, attempting to slap it into a net while avoiding the other team's defenses and trying not to be slammed into a wall. The best players, though, make it look like some kind of rendition of Swan Lake. Brutally graceful, and as you can imagine, for a full-contact sport like this, good equipment is expensive. But that isn't why billionaires are interested. There is a lot of money to be earned owning teams like this as well. China is set to host the 2022 Olympics, which has piqued the interest of Chinese billionaires in the NHL, as all of the league's top players fill out team rosters of various countries at the Winter Games, namely Canada, the United States, Russia, Finland, and Sweden. Did you know that the highest paid NHL player is Canadian Connor McDavid, who earned $16.4 million during the 2021-22 season? Number 5, cricket. This one is rather amusing. Do you know why? Despite its popularity, cricket hasn't been included in the Olympics since the Summer Games of 1900 because only 2 teams would play, France and England. There is hope that it will be included in the 2028 Games in Los Angeles, but until then, this is exactly what makes cricket popular amongst billionaires, its rarity and uniqueness. Well, first and foremost, you'll need 2 teams of 11 players each. The opposing team is usually referred to as the fielding team, while the one sitting at the bat is referred to as the batting team. The goal of this game is to bowl the ball, hit the striker's wicket, and break it. It's similar to baseball, but there are a few notable differences. Sachin Tendulkar, an Indian athlete with a net worth of more than $150 million, is the world's richest cricket player. Number 4. Horse riding and racing. It goes without saying that this side of the sporting industry is big, luxurious, and valuable. Horse-related costs alone are a lot, between $100,000 and $300,000 to buy a thoroughbred horse and another $50,000 a year to care for and feed them. Which is why horse racing has long been associated with royalty, even before it was a more accessible form of entertainment. Almost anyone can afford to place a few dollars bet on their favorite being. The Everest Horse Race in Sydney is the richest turf event in the world, with a prize fund of no less than $15 million in 2020. Number 3. Golf. They say golf is a rich man's sport, and that's probably not going to change anytime soon, because as much as they enjoy watching it, they also enjoy playing it. However, aside from being a fairly exclusive sport with luge country club vibes, it also provides successful people on the course with the opportunity to meet like-minded individuals and discuss new ideas and make plans for the future. The equipment itself costs thousands of dollars per year, and a membership to a nice golf club will easily set you back at least $10,000 per year. We also can't ignore the relaxation aspect of the sport, especially if it's a solo game with just you, your caddy, and some beautiful vistas, as you spend some time deep in thought thinking about your next moves. Number 2. Lacrosse. We covered Canada's national winter sport, but many people don't realize that lacrosse is the country's national summer sport. Probably because it's similar to hockey in that you use a long-handled stick with a small rocket-like net attached to the upper side to catch and carry a small heavy rubber ball. Back in the 13th century, more than 500 people used to join this fast-paced sport all at once, which often resulted in injuries and even death. Eventually, lacrosse became a training tactic for combat because it refined both physical and mental endurance of players, who are often soldiers these days. Though teams are formed by both men in teams of 10 and women in teams of 12. Chase Coleman III, with an estimated net worth of $10.3 billion, and Joe Tsai, with an estimated net worth of more than $8.7 billion, are the richest former lacrosse players. Number 1. Polo with horses. When we think about horse polo games, what comes to mind is beautifully and incredibly costly. It's been dubbed the sport of kings, and we believe that the first polo game was played in Persia, which at the time was the Parthian kingdom, so you can probably figure how ancient it is. Polo with horses began as a way of training military regiments, but it quickly grew and became Persia's national sport. At the time, it was rather progressive in that both men and women would participate on mixed teams. The players must master equitation and can only hit the ball with the mallet they hold in their right hand. You must also be a team player, which isn't always easy. But why do rich people follow this sport? Well, aside from its history and tradition, it's also pretty exclusive to the upper echelons of society. And much like horse racing, there's some big money here. The horse industry itself has a global value of over $300 billion. Okay, that's it for today. Before you go, we'd like to know what your favorite sports are to watch. And if you have a favorite player, please leave a comment and share your ideas in the comments. And thanks for hanging out with us today. If you loved today's video, please press the like button, click the bell symbol to never miss an upload, and don't forget to subscribe.